thank you, SV sir, for giving us the time. Your perspective at this difficult time is very important because how you see things going forward and what decisions you would advise the industry to take will be very helpful to all. So I'll begin a few questions that I think will be helpful for everyone. How are you seeing the Indian manufacturing industry going forward, sir?
Well, you see, as we all know that the first quarter, that is April to June, is a washout for everyone. There has been no manufacturing. But as things improve and there are some movements, then I think by September onwards, there should be a momentum for going to normalcy for manufacture of the machines.
I think that's also a good, not very far off. September is still, that is what should
take. We hope that, that everything is under control and the movements will be normal maybe by next month. Yeah.
Okay, so that's quite optimistic. How do you see the plastic industry output getting impacted, sir? Which are the verticals that because of the COVID, the consumer demand and behavior will change? So how do you think that which vertical will see a growth and which vertical will see a degrowth, whether it's multi-layer, barrier, rigid, semi-rigid, even if a ballpark, because customer demand is going to get impacted.
No, but growth means what? Again, it is subjective growth. You are comparing with some previous period or the normal growth or just the growth after this, just 2 quarters.
Pre-COVID, what the situation was 2 months back. If that is our base, then which are the verticals you think will see a growth because of like the food and the pharma and agri, and which are the verticals you think will see a degrowth? So that will impact our plastic converters.
Yeah. So about the growth, well, I do see that there will be a growth. And as far as extrusion machinery is concerned and the extruded products are concerned, I see good demand coming from films, multi-layer specialty films, as well as for, specialty packaging. I also see growth in PVC, in all kinds of pipes, HDPE, PP, and PVC, because of all the steps the government has taken. So, but all these things would start only after September. This is my view. But I do see at the same time, this one-time use may also be little bit, relaxed, and people will be using more and more of sheet products.
Okay, so it is the PVC pipes that we'll see, and also the packaging. That is the two verticals that
all types of pipes. It is now not only a PVC, but PVC, HDPE, PP, as well as LLDPE, all in drip irrigation and everywhere.
So don't you think that we would have lost out the monsoon season by the time the demand comes up back? It will only come near Diwali, that means.
Normally for pipes, normally during monsoon, as it is, the demand is less. So the many processors of pipes, they have already lost the demand before monsoon, because this is many factories are just trying to start now. So during monsoon, the demand is absolutely, much less. But after the monsoon, again, the demand picks up. And then I feel that there should be some growth also.
India imports a lot of machines from China. And with this negative sentiment against China, that's a hot topic nowadays. Do you think that our local manufacturers will be able to take that pie, or it will be taken by other countries and the converters will still import from outside countries apart from China, or they will continue from China? What is your view on that?
And also, you see the negative sentiment against China is there in all the countries and in India also. But as far as machines are concerned, we have been importing a lot of plastic processing machines from China. So now it all depends on the processors. whether they would still like to consider only importing from China, or they would like to consider on national sentiments from India, because I don't think there is any need to import machines from any other countries as far as plastic machines are concerned, most of them. But China, yes, it was always a threat, and even today it is a threat. And I am also apprehensive that because the China will be losing some other markets, China may try to dump these machines and plastic products in India if the government does not take some action against that dumping.
So what you are suggesting is that the government should look at anti-dumping
If
duties?
not anti-dumping, but one of the suggestions that I read was that they can come out with some protective duty, like COVID duty, COVID for some time. It may be for 1 year or so, depending on the government's decision. But that will really help, and
So
that will help
this,
because yes,
no,
yeah,
I'm saying that there are two things. So one, the converters are fighting that the anti-COVID duty should not be put for the raw material, and then we are saying that it should be put for the machinery. So they'll probably have to take a similar view on everything. Then, if you're going to put an anti-COVID for machinery, then also for raw material, then they will lose out. I mean, then it's kind of taking different stances for different verticals. I mean, I'm just putting a thought that.
yeah,
Uh,
I know, but see, you cannot compare exactly raw materials with finished goods and machinery. So I won't like to mix it up with the raw material. That
True.
is a decision which government will have to consider depending on the industry's presentation, but on machinery and products also, because I feel India can now start manufacturing good products, whether they are industrial products or say household products, anything in plastic, and we can definitely compete with them. We will be able to compete because people will come out with better, more efficiency and better, cost of production control.
Great. So the Atma Nirbhar and the Made in India is going to be have a
Yeah, yeah,
strong impetus now, and
yes,
it should benefit everyone: machine makers, the converters, everyone, the whole, and
yeah,
then ultimately the end customer also. So it's a full
yes,
cycle.
right,
So
right.
you have a huge range of machines from all verticals. So out of your total, segments of machinery that you provide, which are the segment that you see a higher growth than the others because of the COVID, impact that COVID will have on demand?
No,
Which verticals you
basically
think?
we have got by and large say, two main verticals, and that is pipe and films. In pipes, all kinds of pipes, including corrugated pipes, including multi-wall pipes, including PVC, CPVC, HDPE, LDPE, all the kinds of pipes, and drip irrigation. Second vertical is all kinds of films, including monolayer up to 7 layer. So I feel that the growth in film will be more comparatively than pipes. As regards to other machines we are making, they are mostly like accessories or add on to the present our machines, like automatic carrying or say socketing machines or some other equipments which we are making. So these are the two main sectors we are dealing in, or that is they are the two main uh, say verticals.
Good. So you see the demand coming up much more than what even maybe in the pre-COVID time, at least for the films extrusion.
Yes, I'm very hopeful because another reason could be that it seems that the prices of raw material are quite at a low price today, and it's going to remain low because of the oil crisis or whatever it is, and therefore we have always seen that the plastic processing gets big stimulus, big growth when the prices are lower of raw material.
Yeah, that is going to be another benefit. Absolutely correct, sir.
Yes.
How long do you think the capital equipment industry will take to come to the pre-COVID levels that were about 2.5 months back?
Very difficult to say. But as I say, I'm optimist. I'm optimist in general. And things should start improving from September onwards. Yeah, and
That's fair enough, sir.
hopefully
You
hopefully the monsoon is good, so that will also change the mood of the farmers, of the rural, and the rural population. So that will also help the sentiment.
Yes, I think a lot of positives there. Do you think the government policies and the help that they've tried to give through the stimuluses, that will increase the demand, because that ultimately has to go to the hands of the converters and the end users? You think that they really will have an impact, or it's not going to really create liquidity in the hands of either the converters or the end users?
See, there are two divergent views, but according to me, the stimulus they have given is good for the midterm and short-term uh, prospects. It may not be immediately. People were expecting that there will be immediate injection of some liquidity or funds to MSME and other, other people, other section of the society. But for short term and mid term, these are really good prospects for the growth of the industry.
Okay, fair enough. Also, as we saw, what I needed to check is that out of your total factories, what level of capacity utilization have they come up on? They are reached 50-60% already?
Oh, no,
Or
no, no. See, most of the factories, I can tell you, in our case also at Daman and Pune, it's all about 25-30%. Because, in Daman, we have a typical problem. Most of our staffs are in Vapi, Gujarat, and they are not allowed to come. They cannot come and, start working in Daman. So unless the thing become normal, we are working with, say, about 30-35% workforce.
so is the logistics, even with this, 30% capacity utilization, the logistics of getting the machine to the end customer, is that an easy thing, or that's also facing a challenge right now?
It's facing challenge because you cannot complete the machine. What we are trying to do is, now there were many machines in the making. So whatever components were incomplete or we were to get, we are trying to just complete those machines. But today, if I get an order for an ultra new machine, it may not be very easy to adhere to the delivery schedule also, unless everything becomes, normal, no restrictions on movements of people at least.
So at least that is another about a month or month and a half away, if things go status quo. It's an estimate,
Yeah,
but at least that much time, few
yeah.
months minimum. Yes, absolutely. Do you think, sir, your focus on export will increase still, because India has been on a complete lockdown and other countries, they have taken different views. So do you think the demand there, and I've seen with other converters as well as machinery manufacturers, your focus could get on export a little bit more till India converters come back to their normal buying scenario?
No, our focus has always been more on exports, and we have been exporting to so many countries, particularly Middle East and, African countries and Far East as well. So, as the feedback I have received from my salespeople, that in Africa and other these countries, there is also a strong anti-China sentiment going on. Secondly, any plastic machinery for installation requires some say visit of the people or involvement of the people still, physically. So from that point of view also, perhaps we will get a preference from these foreign processors, from these foreign buyers, to get Indian machines compared to Chinese machines. Because in China, the after sale service and installation of the machines has always been a very problematic thing, mostly. Yeah.
So I would say that, sir, after this, our demand is going to come back, which is the indigenous demand for India for machinery, and also our export pie will increase. So I think
Yes.
after a few months,
I
we
mean,
probably will be able to make up for the quarter lost.
no, I don't think so. Now, see, 6 month loss, 6 month loss is tremendous loss for any capital goods sector. So in capital goods, it's a big loss. Even in processing, also, if 3 or 5 months you lost, they are lost forever.
I agree with you, sir. Good. Sir, just as a parting comment, what is your guidance to our Indian plastic industry till, because all of them are still crawling back to work. We are some days or maybe even a month or 2 months away from what we could be pre-COVID. What is your final, guidance to all of us in the plastic Indian industry?
No, I mean, in the long run, as I said, I am very optimist. And in the meantime, people will have to be now more efficient. They will have to look at saving of their costs or say overheads, which so far we have been, we were not even bothering about it. So people will have to be more efficient and more productive. And people will have to work more diligently. Even the output from our workers, from our skilled workers or employees or unskilled people will also have to improve. Then only we can meet the competition or be competitive in the globe.
Agreed. And sir, do you think automation will increase at all levels now? You think
Yeah,
focus will
certainly.
go higher?
Yeah, of course, people will start thinking. It may take some time, but then people will have to resort to automation.
Agreed. Thank you so much, SV sir. It's always a
Okay.
pleasure to speak to you. And I will come back to you probably after a month just to touch back how the situation is. And with your permission, we'll share your opinion as well as advice with our industry. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening,
Thank
sir.
you. You are
I'll see
most
you soon.
welcome anytime.